So now for our next layer type, we have a look at the image layers. And the image layer can be pretty important and can be used in two ways. So the first way would be to be used as like a background image for orientation in order for you to know where to place certain things like roads or rivers or cities. Or it can be used as a direct feature on the map in terms of being an overlay. So after setting up an image layer, you go to your tool options and hit load image. And we just select an image and you see it shows up. With your left mouse button, you can drag the image. With the right, of course, you drag the map. You don't have that much options here, so you can, of course, zoom your image. So if you're modeling, for example, after real-world terrain, you have to measure the distances before and set up the map accordingly in terms of dimensions. But in this case, it's not about setting up the map, it's just about showing what the images can do. So if you want to use an image as a background layer for orientational purposes, after having placed your image how you want it, you can hit lock position and zoom. And what this does is it makes that the image can't be panned or moved around by accident, so it just is locked. And you can change the opacity so in order for you to see through and know where you want to place things or not. Some other useful things you can do: if you unlock your image, you can always reset it, like where it has been from the beginning. But more importantly, you can use the align corner to grid. So, for example, if you hit top left, you see that the image gets positioned at the top left corner, which is measured by the outline of the hex grid. And also now the zoom is anchored in this position. So, for example, if you hit bottom right and zoom now, you see that the zoom is anchored at the bottom right of your map. And you, of course, can do this with all four corners. And another useful thing with images is I also showed this in my map making video. If you hit edit image, you open a new window where you can edit your image. You can basically draw into the image directly. So I just show it really quick. So you can, for example, pick this color and you can just draw in your image directly. So let's get rid of all this text here. For example, here, or here. So it's like just for showcasing. You can draw into it. And if you hit apply, your changes, as you can see here, are directly applied to the image. And this is especially helpful if you want to use your image, for example, as an overlay for coast. What you can do is you can hit select color and click on a color on the map, and you see that there will be a highlight. Maybe in this case we change the highlight color to red. So we can see what gets highlighted. Now the image here is, I guess, not that good of a quality. You see that there are different shades of blue. That's why it doesn't select it that well. So you can downgrade the color amount in the image. So if we set it like to level 6, it will make the image to only 6 colors. So we hit if we hit apply now you can see that the color amount changed, and if we select the ocean now, you can see that it much better draws the outline. So if we like it how it is, we then can invert the selection. So now everything except our first color is selected, and then we can delete selected pixels. And now we see that we have also just the blue pixels still in the image, and the land is gone. We can also add like an outline. Let's make it like 2 pixels wide. Now we have an outline around. Of course, here we didn't clean up properly. It's just for showcase. But if we hit apply now, you see that now our image is applied, and we just got our selected coastline. So, for example, we could place it now maybe like this. And then our image would be an overlay. So if we lock the position now, you see that also the image now, it goes beyond the hexes. That is something we don't want, so we can hit cut at edges. And now the hexes at the edge of the map cut out the image perfectly. And now we could use this image as an overlay for our ocean. So this makes two things. First, we don't have to fill all the ocean, and especially we don't have to draw the complex coastline. It's directly here. And what we also can do, if we nevertheless want to use the same picture as a background also, we can just add another image layer. We load up the same picture again. And now the first problem we got is, how can we now align these two pictures? So if we want to do it manually, maybe with lower opacity, we can try to align it. We can try to zoom it, but this is like a really big hassle. So it works much easier. We just go into our first layer, which we want as our, let's say, base, and we just hit copy transform. And then we go to our second image, which of course has to have the same dimensions, but if we had paste transform, now it makes everything exactly like the first image. And now, as you can see, they sit perfectly on top of each other. And this way we can use the image you see now as our overlay for the ocean and the coastline, and we can use the second image just as orientation for example, drawing in the road network or drawing in cities, and so on. Yeah, these are the things you can do with the image layers.